What's up, guys? It's DToxicz here, otherwise known as Andrew, and I am bringing you guys another episode of my K10 series today. Whoops, hit the PS button by mistake. And we're going to be looking at the Vector K10 today, guys, and as you guys can see, as a lot of you guys commented, my classes are named after Pokemon, so this is my Sandslash class, and to be honest, this is my favorite SMG in the game. I really don't like any other of the SMGs. This is my favorite. I've had a lot of playing time with this gun, so I think I know a little bit about the gun. Also, guys, with this episode, I think I'm going to try to do a little bit more in-depth. I'm going to go and I'm going to see like some gun damages and things like that. And I'm going to try to get you guys to understand some of the mathematical points behind the weapons in Call of Duty as well, as rather than just how I feel. But I'm also going to be talking about how I feel about the weapon as well. So let's actually get into the class here real fast. As you guys can see, I have the Vector K10 here, and I'm using it with the primary gunfighter wildcard with suppressor, fast mag, and laser sight. Now, I have no sight on this gun because the iron sights on this gun are extremely easy to use. They're extremely flexible, they are very open, and they allow you to be able to see your enemy very clearly and very easily. And there's also very little recoil on the weapon as itself, but I'll get into that once we get into the gameplay. I have suppressor on this gun because the range on this gun is actually very, very low, so the suppressor doesn't really affect the range that much on this gun. So, I mean, you're basically losing, I think, about a meter or so in your 4-shot kill range, which I'll get into again in the gameplay, but you know, it helps you out more because you're off the radar and you can run around and things like that, and no one's going to know you're there, so it'll help you out when you're trying to run around and get closer in your gunfights, as you need to be using this weapon. I have fast mags on this weapon just because the extended mags isn't really useful when you have a 36 round clip. And also, reloading in this game is kind of slow, and I just like, since I'm rushing around with this class, I really enjoy just being able to reload the gun and just do it really fast and get it done and over with. And laser sight, because laser sight is something that you kind of want on all your SMGs, just that way you can hip spray really, really well at close range without having to aim down the sight. It's pretty conclusive and it's pretty easy to figure out. I have no secondary on this class, as you guys can see, just because this gun, since I have fast mags on it, reloads really quickly, so I really don't need to bother with a secondary. I have perk 1 flak jacket because being immune from explosives and things like that, like grenades in this game, is really, really effective, especially when you're playing game types like hardpoint and things like that where you have to stay stationary on top of an objective. It's really, really helpful, and I think it's probably the best perk 1 next to lightweight. And I have perk 2 toughness because the damage on this gun is actually kind of low for an SMG, so you kind of want to be using toughness because people are going to be firing back at you and hitting you with their guns, so you kind of want to be keeping yourself on target and keeping your aim steady as you're shooting them. And then dexterity, just because since you're running around with this class a lot, the other part of dexterity, as I'll show you guys here, you aim faster after sprinting. So, aiming faster after sprinting, especially with an SMG, sometimes can be really, really useful. And then I just have the standard Semtex and concussion grenades, guys. So, we're going to jump right into the gameplay here, and I'm going to explain a little bit more in depth about this weapon, as well as my personal feelings on the weapon. Okay, guys, now that we're in the gameplay here, this is going to be the Vector gameplay using the same exact class that you guys just saw. This is on Meltdown, this is free-for-all. This is probably the best free-for-all that I've had in a long time on this game, and it's really going to show you how good this gun actually can be. So, before I actually get into talking about how I feel about this gun, we're going to talk about some of the in-depth details. Now, before I talk about these details, guys, I do want to say that I am getting these details from Drifter. If you guys have not seen Drifter, he's a kind of a big YouTuber. He does a lot of in-depth things. He's done in-depth since like Modern Warfare 2, and he's a really big guy on math stuff on all the guns and things like that. I'm getting my information from him. So before you guys start saying, "Oh, you're copying Drifter, man. What are you doing?" I know that's the point. I'm using his material and I'm crediting him for this, but I'm trying to show you guys that maybe don't watch him to see this. But I'm wasting time. All right, the damage on the Vector, as it stands right now, it is 33 damage to 18 damage at its longest range, which means that since everybody has 100 health in core game types, you're looking at a 4 to 6 shot kill. Okay? That means that it's going to take a little while to kill somebody, and that's what I'm saying about using the suppressor. Because of the range on this weapon is not that long, you kind of want to be using the suppressor just because there's not that much of a penalty when it comes to using the suppressor. This gun fires at 900 rounds per minute or 1200 rounds per minute if you're using rapid fire. That is an extremely fast fire rate, but I definitely do not recommend using rapid fire on this weapon because there is a big range reduction when you're using rapid fire, as well as a big recoil increase. And something weird to note about this weapon is that if you put select fire on it, you still fire at 900 rounds per minute, but it's a 2-round burst. Drifter said in his video that he didn't really enjoy it. He thought it was kind of hard to control since it's a 2-round burst, but hey, if you like burst weapons like I do, then it might be the thing for you. I haven't really tried it personally, but I might have to. The range on this weapon is actually 13 meters, and that is your maximum 4-hit kill range. So up to 13 meters you're going to be killing somebody in 4 hits. After that it's going to go to 5, 6, and then so on from there. This is a very, very low range, and as I said before, I think the suppressor drop off on the range is only down to 11 meters, so you're not really losing much there. So now that we're done with some of the in-depth stuff, or some of the important in-depth stuff that you guys want to hear, let's talk about how I feel about this gun. This gun really feels strong. It really feels like one of those spray and pray guns that you would normally expect from an SMG class. And it doesn't really feel like it's a 4 to 6 shot kill sometimes. As you guys are going to see in this gameplay, it sometimes feels like, a 2-shot kill or a 3-shot kill or something like that. But it just depends on how you're using the weapon. And this is actually a very, very strong gun for just running around and hip firing with because of its fast fire rate. And even though it is a low damage weapon, because of the fast fire rate and how easy the iron sights are to use, it makes this gun really, really, really fun, and it makes it really easy to use, especially for someone who's new to Call of Duty. It has very low recoil, very moderate recoil, and it makes it very, very fun for everyone to use. So probably what I have on it that I showed you guys in my class setup is probably my favorite thing to use on it. The suppressor, the laser sight, and the fast mag, just because I like to rush around. But if you wanted to play more defensively, if you really don't enjoy the iron sights on this weapon, I would definitely recommend using something maybe like an ACOG sight with quick draw and fast mags, or maybe an ACOG sight with quick draw and suppressor, because in reality in this game the ACOG sights actually aren't that bad. I'm surprised not many people have started using them yet. Maybe it's just because the maps are very open, so people don't really need to use them, or they're very small. But I think it might be something very effective, and I might actually have to try it out. So if you guys actually need a sight on this weapon, I would definitely recommend using like ACOG or something like that on it. I would definitely not recommend going without the suppressor, just because you're not really losing that much while using the suppressor with this weapon, as I've said before. But if you really wanted to go without the suppressor just because the gun sounds really cool, like unsuppressed, like come on guys, the gun sounds amazing when it's unsuppressed. So, I mean, if you really wanted to go without the suppressor, I could see why you would want to do it, but you're not really helping yourself in terms of damage or anything like that. So, the video is actually almost coming to a close here, guys. I really hope you enjoyed the gameplay and stuff in the background. It's a really, really fun gameplay, and I kind of went tryhard in it because I really wanted to show this weapon's strengths and weaknesses. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please tell me if you guys enjoyed the in-depth details that I gave, and if you guys want to see any more of those, the in-depth details and things like that. And once again, I'm crediting Drifter for all the in-depth details. I want to thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I'll be seeing you guys next time.